I don't know where that one came from. We learn different levels of healthy relating. We practice, like I said earlier, we fail at times. But we need to feed into the different layers. And Proverbs 27:17 talks about feeding into a layer where things get intimate and real enough, where you see the junk and you say, okay, I'm going to address the junk so that we can walk together. And there's a phrase in the New Testament about love that says love covers. So that when I walk, every single one of us has got character defects, character failure points. We all works in progress. So while we are being perfected and transformed, one degree of glory to another in Jesus Christ, if you desert me because I'm a work in progress, you're not expressing the love of God to me. You hear what I'm saying? Rather come alongside me and sharpen me. Rather come alongside as a cheerleader or a champion and say, you can do this. You can grow through this. We're going to do this together. It's what you do with your Juice Plus company. It's the way we do life, is enjoy and encourage and cheer one another on to be the best version of you that God created you to be. We learn to love others like never before. So your action step here is take 3 people in the church to invest in and take your friendship to another level. Why don't you take your pens out? Look at the faces round about you. Think of those that aren't here and commit to reach out, whether it's a text or an email, to someone here. I'm going to tell you, I know I'm your pastor, but man, I get so encouraged by your encouragement. I wake up on Monday mornings and Tuesday mornings, I get a text where I'm told I'm praying for you. Do you know it's enough to charge me through the day? Last week I left church here with a card from the church family for Pastor Appreciation Month. I saved that card until after my Sunday afternoon nap. And I sat and I read that card and the gift cards that I got. And that card is on my nightstand. So that I can pull it out. And when I read what you wrote, I can see your faces. I'm blessed. I'm strengthened. I'm nurtured. So that's what I'm asking us to do as a church family. Commit to an action step. It's 3 people, guys. Take your pens out, make a commitment. Brian, you're very good at encouraging, you really are. We talk on a regular basis. Number 3, we learn to express God's love at every opportunity. One of the things, when you learn to come into that absolute ocean, avalanche of the love of God, the waterfall of God's love, what you find is a resource to love others, not on a limited budget basis. Because what we do is we budget love that we pour out. You do realize that. On your good days, you're a little more expansive. What if you lived a budget-free life in terms of love? Where would that take us? Gosh, you guys are quiet. Thomas Keating said, divine love is compassionate, tender, luminous, totally self-giving, seeking no reward, unifying everything. Divine love brings everything together. Divine love makes everything coherent, consistent, held together. He is the sticky tape, he is the glue of the universe. I come to rest in his love. Thomas Keating is an author of and practitioner of contemplative prayer. He's taught the 21st century church to come to a place of meditation and growth in prayer practice in phenomenal ways. Thomas Keating died on October 25th. 2 weeks ago, Eugene Pedersen died. He was the author of the Message translation of the Bible. So we see a tier of Christian thought leadership and practice that is moving off. What are you doing to grow up into the place? We are to be known for our love. Our action step here is one small act of love can make a world of difference. One small act of love can make a world of difference. So here's the thing. My experience over the last years is that there's a lot of love that is transactional. I do for you, you do for me. It's unspoken, it's implicit. I would call it kindergarten level of love. I really would. So there's a lot of charity work, we call it altruistic, philanthropic, etc., etc. Let's bring this practice of love into our world. A small act of love is to go and vote on Tuesday with no hatred in your heart, with no tribalism in your heart. You go as a citizen of America to vote, but first and foremost you go as a citizen of heaven. Let love be your guide. In a world where we see increasing hate crimes, and I'm so sorry about the event in Pittsburgh, I didn't talk to you about that, Michael. We're either going to harvest more hate, or we are going to sow love until love brings everything down. For me, there is no choice. Which is why the gospel guides us. I've come back now for weeks to Matthew 5, blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Matthew 5 ends with this, pray for your enemies. Bless those who despitefully use you. Pray for them, don't persecute them. Go and vote in the Spirit of Jesus Christ. Plan to do one random act of kindness each week. Okay, so this is the challenge with the random act of kindness. This is a freebie between you and God. What if one day a week, between now and the end of the month, you fasted all technological device use? Apart from what you have to do for work, stay off social media, you fast so that you make room, mental and emotional room in your life, to write a note, to make a phone call, to do a random act. Gosh, you must see the faces from this side. I feel like I'm speaking, there's a lot of white noise between us right now. I just lost you guys. Okay, it's possible, it's possible. I'll have a prayer line afterwards. I think I'm going to leave it at that. But we do fill up a lot of our space with chatter that really doesn't count. You know, I have friends who have no social media platforms. They do exist. And you know, they're completely free of a whole lot of opinion polling, right? They're free of that. And it gives room for something. All right, building lifetime community. This is the nuts and bolts of building lifetime community. It takes time. Invest time. A man that has friends must show himself friendly. If you're sitting at home and you say, no one calls me, nobody cares for me, nobody loves me, pick up the phone. For one, it'll help you get out of that withdrawal, isolated mode. But if you want friends, you need to show yourself as a friend maker. Invest time, hashtag, not too busy. You guys know this, but in May, after my medical event at the beginning of the year, my South African friends got together and bought me a ticket because they wanted to see me in the flesh. They wanted to know that I was okay. One of the friends did not contribute to the ticket, but I have a group of friends, 5 friends in South Africa that I call my wall of fire. For the last 25 years, any significant storm, they have stood around me like a wall of fire. The year that my mother died, one of them was in contact with me every week. It was a strategic Scorpion effect, pincer movement. They had me surrounded in the best possible sense. So Vicky, one of my friends, only found out the day that I flew into South Africa that I was coming. And she was there at the airport to meet me. And she shifted her work schedule every day that I was there to spend time with me. I'll remember that for the rest of my life. She owns a national drama company. So she had to change some flights herself. She shifted things around. Don't get too busy for some of the most important things in your life. Invest time. The second is earn trust. Many people claim to be a friend, but it's rare to find someone who is truly trustworthy. There are three aspects to being trustworthy, which you're not going to see there. The first aspect of being trustworthy is to be reliable. Proverbs 17:17 says, "A friend loves at all times." How frequently is all? All the time. The second aspect of earning trust is to be loyal. To be loyal and true. Ruth and Naomi, the Old Testament story. Ruth, the daughter-in-law, lost her husband. Naomi told her, "Go back to your own home." And Ruth's response was, "Urge me not to leave you or turn back from following you. Your God will be my God, and your people will be my people." Let me tell you what church family means for Chris and I. Out of the next generation, the older generation, we have no grandparents. We only have one parent. My dad is alive in Santa Barbara. My one brother is in Singapore. My other brother is in Oregon. Some of Chris's family is here on Long Island. The fabric of our day-to-day family life is Cross River Christian Church. And so the care, the love, the nourishment that we get here is what nurtures us, feeds us, brings so much of God's life into us. The third aspect of earning trust in relationship is to keep confidences. And this has actually been a critical point of growth for us as a church family here. Because what happens when you're in a small church, it's like it's social dynamics in any environment. When you're in a small church, if there is a confidence between 2 or 3 people, and that confidence is betrayed to a fourth and a fifth person, you know the ripple effect is going to be enormous very quickly, right? So keeping confidences not only feeds healthy one-on-one relationships, it's healthy for the large group. If I share with you something that I'm asking you to pray about, and you're telling Joe Soap across the pew there, I no longer have the safety to share with my prayer partner. So we can help one another grow by keeping confidences in a healthy manner. The third aspect of building lifetime community, I'm so sorry I've been doing this. I'm going over my time every week, is to listen. Be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to get angry. Fourth is accept flaws, overlooking one another's faults. And the fifth is to celebrate wins and share losses. Rejoice with those who rejoice, mourn with those who mourn. Finally, to build lifetime community is to seek to bring out the best in others. Just like a good mom and dad will do. When you see someone do something well, say, "Well done. You did something beautiful there." And celebrate the wins. And with the losses, say, "You know what? There's going to be another time. You go out fishing again, because I've asked God for a good catch for you." Let's pray for a good catch for Nick. Won't you stand with me, please? Now my blessing, my closing prayer, my blessing is simply that you would be washed in the love of God, that you would be saturated in the love of God, that you would be overwhelmed and nurtured in the deep abiding love of God, that you would be brought to wholeness and healing in the love of God, that God would make himself known to you by his amazing grace and love. Go in peace and go in joy in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful sunshiny fall kind of day.